Death, fear, and suffering are the highlights of this dimension. Do you want to continue to play their game, or do you want to leave? Peace unto you. My name is Nadiie. Today is all about, are you living or are you surviving? See, being in survival mode is an indicator that you are still operating out of duality. What is duality? Duality basically is anything that isn't just one. Not one as in singular, but one as in oneness. So duality says that there is courage and fear, that there is pain and there is liberation. That is not so. If you have a conflicting choice, whether inside of you or outside of you, then that is of duality. If you can feel anything than that which is, and our description of what is that which is God. Our descriptions of God is love. Therefore, what is love. If you aren't experiencing love 24/7, and not the love that y'all think about. See, there is love, there's unconditional love, and then there's perfect love. Unconditional love is not better or worse than any of them. Perfect love is not better or worse than any of them. We just prefer perfect love. For unconditional love still operates within duality. So you'll see a lot of dimensions that has dense forms or things that seem way too physical. They will operate out of unconditional love because they can't fathom what perfect love is. Unconditional love is still of conditions. Basically, it's, I'm not going to follow the conditions of this planet, therefore I shall be unconditional. Well, the underlying conditions of this planet is duality. So if you have a choice between something or something else, then you're still following the laws of this reality. Therefore, you are still operating out of conditions. Perfect love is just is. And that's what we strive for. That's how you know you are living. We're going to give you some techniques that you can utilize to guide yourself to remember, I am the master on earth. I am the master that is. See, we utilize that sequence for a specific reason. First, you must be okay with where you are now. I'm going to respect this illusion. I'm on earth. I can't not deny that fact. But what I also know is earth is not so. So I'm not only going to be a good representation of what light is here, I'm going to be a good representation of what light is everywhere. So that's why we say is. Technique 1 for figuring out if you're living or if you're surviving is, what are your triggers like? Do you even have triggers? I tell people this all the time. You aren't as spiritual as you think you are if you still operate within triggers. See, if you have an issue with the word God, Allah, spirit, creator, source, any of these things, you have still put yourself in a position where you aren't experiencing the full aspect of what our father and mother is. See, as a master, you must understand what makes a master is not the modalities that it presents. What makes a master is its ability to bridge with people. If someone has issues with the word God, but I know I can bridge with them by saying Allah, I'll just say Allah. I'm not going to say, well, that's this and religion is that. And no, you're not a master. You're not as spiritual as you say you are if you still have triggers. I don't care what happened in your world. I don't care what happened in your reality. You must take accountability. That is the truth. But also, you must not enable that behavior. And on top of that, be gentle with yourself. Because even though we subscribe to this world, we subscribe to how our life is now, everything you experience in your life, you signed up for. You actually orchestrated it. You are a master archetype. Before incarnation, you asked God, listen, this soul feels like it must go through A, B, and C. Or if I put myself through these situations, I'll be able to achieve the lesson for the completion of A, B, and C. Some people choose the hard life because it's the fastest way of resolving the yearning a soul has. If it feels it still must complete or achieve lessons or any form of remembrance. See, in God, you don't need anything. We need not anything because we have everything. You cannot say the creator is the creator of all and believe yourself to be an aspect of said creator. Okay, well, if you are an aspect of said creator and the creator is all, how are you not the remembrance of all? How are you not in the know of everything? See, it's where the ego comes in. The ego says, yeah, that's cool and all, that's sweet, you know what I'm saying? You made in the image of your father, mother, or whatever. You made in the image of source, but you still got to cram for this test. See, a master will be able to will in the energy of I already know. But don't get too ahead of yourself. Technique 1 is basically being able to understand, I created this world, I'm in this world, not of this world. I'm going to accept it, but I'm also going to free myself from the chains that my mentality or my ideology puts me on. Technique 2 for figuring out if you're living or surviving is essentially, are you willing to leave the plans, the ideologies, the descriptions of this world indefinitely? Are you actually willing to? If the portal for the highest of the highest dimensions opened right now, are you still going to be thinking about your kids, your dog, your bills, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your family? Are you going to be thinking about any of them? Or are you going to be the master that have integrated oneness, so you know that when you walk in, they walk in, for we are one? See, people think they're very spiritual until that portal opens. People think they're very spiritual until they start to astral project. See, you aren't actually scared of astral projection. Your ego is scared of dying. See, your ego is a logical force. Your ego says, if this vessel I am inhabiting reaches that which is the light, then I shall be no more. For the egoic statements and egotism doesn't exist in those realms. Therefore, I shall die. The ego doesn't want you to be light, not because it thinks light is good or bad. It's only caring about the survival of self. You must understand that the ego is neutral in this war, this positioning. It just doesn't want to die. Just like a dog you put in a corner. It's not going to care about Sally over here or that food over there. It's trying its best not to get clapped because it doesn't trust you. The ego doesn't actually trust you. That's why it wants to control you. So lose descriptions of this world. I say it constantly, like these schools that constantly repeat things to get you to remember. Like, for example, someone said English, you don't learn English, you remember English. For the teachings of any language has a specific set of, this is how you do this, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. Well, for English, there's like 50 words that have like the same spelling, but just you say it completely differently. You don't learn that, you just remember that. Oh, I don't say this like this, I say this like that. It's the same thing with spirituality and anything of the remembrance role or the quickening. It's all about remembering. And the third technique that will assist you with understanding, are you living or are you just surviving, is what is getting you excited about spirituality? Like, what makes you want to be spiritual? Is it just for monetary gain? Is it because you just want to show the world that the black sheep can make it? Why do you want to move on this path? A lot of people don't even ask themselves these questions. They just seen that, oh, this is the truth. Okay, this is the truth, yes. But why do you want to walk this path? How is this path going to serve you? Are you going to step into a role of guiding others? Because once you get to a point in spirituality, you must share to others. That's the point. You share it to other versions of yourself so you don't get trapped. So you don't feel like you must come back, because it's all a choice. So ask yourself, why do I want to be spiritual? And then whatever comes through, if you know it isn't of the highest light, you know. You don't have to have a master tell you, you know. Then go within, figure out where that root came from, and then undo it. If it's too much of this world, reset, forget who you are, and create a new self. With that, we say welcome home.